start the recording. Okay. And yeah, we can just, in the first part of the training, we should get to know each other better, and then we will give a short break, and then we will start the theoretic part of the training, and then we will give a lunch break. After the lunch break, we can work together as a team to create a business model canvas for everybody to participate in and to understand it in detail. Are we clear?
Yes, sure.
Okay, it's great. I was introducing myself. I have been working in the medical device orthopedic companies, and my main focus is to develop software solutions to the conventional solutions that are in the market for about 100 years. And like the reason I wanted to specifically give this training today was because I'm not a person that has been working in the sector for like 25, 30 years. I am usually younger than the people I work with, but the special thing about this business model canvas is that this was my first job when I first started working in a company, and the first thing that they told me was that, okay, this is the project and you have to do a business model canvas about this in 2 days. And I had no idea what that was, and I just started searching, and in the final version of it, it somehow came together. And yeah, it's just like the first thing I did in business, so that's why I wanted to specifically give this training, because this business model canvas is actually something a person in charge of a company or a part of a company should do to see if their idea or if their company or if their like startup will work. Actually, before starting on a journey, doing a business model canvas will give you a projection of your idea or of your like idea actually, to see if it's going to work before starting. But this is like the main important part of business model canvas. So I did my best to introduce myself. Is there anybody from you that wants to introduce themselves so that we get to know each other better? Mr. Abdulaziz introduced himself, and I see there are 24 more people. Is there any volunteers to just shortly introduce themselves so we get to know each other better?
Good afternoon. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm colleague of Mr. Abdulaziz Suyar. We're working together, so.
Okay, are you here to possibly learn about entrepreneurship, or you're just here to learn general information? Like, do you have an idea for a possible startup, or do you have your own business?
No, I don't have any business. I'm here just for general information.
Okay, that's nice. I wish you.
Because I entered this sphere very recently, so I'm freshman in such matters. So it will be interesting for me, I hope.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for volunteering to introduce yourself.
Uh-huh.
And after I heard, I want to say something. Like my whole life, I really did not like this general training system. And today I wanted to be as much as a cooperative program so that we can just basically talk a little bit while learning about the subjects. So don't look at it as a general training program that you entered, and feel free to make any comments, ask any questions, like anything. Okay. Okay, anybody else?
Girdim.
Okay, can I introduce myself?
Yes, please.
Okay, good day everyone. My name is Svetlana Kim. I'm from Uzbekistan. Now I'm working at IT company as a project manager. We have our startup project, and I want to learn more about like how to create business model canvas and etc. That's all.
Thank you.
Yes, Svetlana.
Nasıl falanlarız yok, telefon sürekleriz de.
Hello.
I couldn't understand. Yes, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad, and I'm from Uzbekistan. Nowadays, I'm working as a chief operating officer in Next Level company.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mohammed.
Can you please mute the others?
I guess someone's microphone is open. Can you please silence your microphone? Miss Laura, I'm guessing your microphone is open. There's a lot of noise coming.
Geç kalıyorsunuz kızlar.
I couldn't understand, I'm sorry.
Hurmatli ishtirokchilar, iltimos mikrofonlarni o'chirib olinglar agar tanishtirish yoki darsga aloqador bironta gaplaringiz bo'lmasa. Dear participants, can you mute your microphone? Because it has some.
I guess I can silence my microphone. Yes, I guess I solved it. Now I can hear you better, Mr. Mohammed, please.
So, yes, I'm Muhammad, and I am a chief operating officer in Next Level Group IT company. So I got the message from IT startup Minister of Innovation of Uzbekistan, and it really took my interest because we are working in a freelancing and BPO field. So we develop the software solutions to the local businesses, and we really hope to move to the international level. So I think that this training will benefit us very greatly, and I hope I learned more things from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. I'm guessing that from your urge to enter the international market in lots and lots of places, like even European Commission, in several cases, request for a business model canvas while listening to your projects and possibly supporting you. I'm guessing this will be very positive for your business.
Yes, I hope so, because I listened, I heard about this model canvas, and I think it would be very great chance to get started and got the great skills, experience, and sharing the ideas and so on.
That's great. If you want, after we give a break, I will be creating a more practical way for all of us to come together and create a canvas for an example idea or for one of you idea. At that point, we may work on your company if you want, if the others want as well, so that we can just start and get to create your canvas here today.
Yes, it would be good. I hope to get the work together and work together to build the canvas based on my project. So if there is a chance, it would be very great.
I'm hoping we will have the chance to create a canvas together, all together. Even if not, I will be sharing my email address with all of you in the end, and we can always get in contact for any possible details as well, in addition to the training.
Okay, thank you. I will wait.
Okay, anybody else? I
Hello.
would like to know each other.
Hello, Mister.
Yes, Mister.
Hello, Mister. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing? Thank you.
I am Shadir Tahirov, who is working on organization where startup projects are paid, invested, and we have some more startup projects that need to help to foster their activity. That's why I want to help to improve their activity.
That's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I thank you. I'm hoping this training will be good for you as well. Anybody else that wants to introduce themselves?
Yeah, let me try to introduce.
Yes, Mr. Hello.
So thank you. My name is Darwin Kanapur. I live in Almut town in Dustin region.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I guess there's a problem with your microphone.
Okay, so I will say more for now. Sir, my name is Darwin Kanapur. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's better now.
Sure. I'm 24 and I live in Almut. It's in Dustin region. I'm an ex CEO of Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Uzbekistan. So now I work as a CEO on is a company called the Agro-Industrial Cluster. It's one of the biggest companies that we do business in the agriculture, grocery transportation, food tech and food tech field. So I guess your training related to business model canvas would be very useful for us to enlarge the size of our business, and I hope that we can be in contact in the several next years. So I guess everybody who participates in that in that training can find something interesting for themselves.
I'm hoping it will be useful for you. Thank you, Mr. Sanakulo. I guess if I'm not mispronouncing.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, pleasure to meet you, and hoping to hear more about your ideas during the training as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anybody else, please?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, my name is Mushtari Umurzokova. I am founder and director of engineering company Ekamon Svita. Currently, I'm working on 2 startups. So I thought that it will be very good to get rehearsal of all steps and develop the startup with your guidance.
Thank you. I'm guessing it will be very useful because like business model canvas is usually told to be about the startups or like any companies in the beginning, but the issue about business model canvas is that you can do it at any time for any subject regarding like business, and the fact that you're working on 2 startups, this model will be very useful for you.
Yes, actually, the intention was to. Now I'm prototyping one of my startups, and I thought that it would be very good to use your methodology as well. I think that would be quite helpful. Not only this session, but only the whole work that we will do in the whole week. Thank you.
Yes. Somebody's sound is coming. I believe it's Zişan Kazako. Would you like to say something, or is your microphone open? Can you hear me? Okay. I believe you're not going to say something. I'm closing the microphone for now. I can't close their microphone. There's a problem. That's great. Okay, 1 second, please. Okay, we're good to go. Anybody else who wants to introduce themselves?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Memoli, I guess.
Yes, my name is Memoli and I'm from Uzbekistan. I'm a freshman at university. I joined this training to get the general information and some ideas.
You're a student in university? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm freshman at university.
Okay, that's great. Do you have an idea, or you just want to like do you have an intention on possibly establishing a startup, or do you have an idea?
Yes, yeah, I have such an intention to.
I'm really happy to hear that there's a university student with us today, because I myself established my own company when I was a university student, and it was pretty useful to do this. So pleasure to meet you, Mr. Memoli. Looking forward to hearing about you in the further in the training.
Thank you.
Anybody else, please?
I think we can continue the training itself.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Mr. Abdulaziz.
I think we can continue the training in itself, the session. We can start.
Okay.
Yeah, excuse me, I just woke up.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Oscar Blurazakov. I'm from Tashkent, Uzbekistan. I'm hardware engineer. So I design stuff like machines, PCBs, yeah, machines like this. So this is actually was my idea, my prototype that I wanna sell.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I joined this. I don't know how to call it, the Zoom meeting, because I like some business knowledges, and I like the topics that was advertised. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
Okay, pleasure to meet you, Mr. Oscar. I hope this training is beneficial for your ideas and your possible business.
Yeah, thank you. I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Then we could start the training. I'm just going to pass through these parts, and the first important thing that we should get clear during the training is that we shouldn't confuse a business model from a business strategy. What is a business model and how does it differ from a business strategy is the first thing that we will look into. A business model determines how you want to differentiate and position yourself within your industry. So it's basically the thing where you put the difference, that is the part where you are different from the industry. Like, what different thing do you put forward that will make you stand out? A business strategy is a little different from a business model. Is in the business strategy, you look at all the requirements and you put a goal to yourself and try to see if your current state of information, of money, of people, of market is enough for you to continue in the business. Before we start going into business model canvas, there is a more there's something that needs to be, in my opinion, completed before we go to the business model canvas, because it's called SWOT analysis, and SWOT analysis is like the easiest and the most quick way to see of your, like, if your idea or your business or if your project is going to basically need a business model canvas. And this SWOT analysis thing is usually required by anybody. Like, I personally recommend it as a person who has been in projects with European Commission and other government places that request projects. Like, in every project you want to make, or in possibly investor presentations, like, every person requires a SWOT analysis from you to see that if you know your strengths, your weaknesses, possible threats or possible opportunities of your business or your idea or your project before entering a market or start doing a project. So if anybody wants, we can take somebody's idea and we can do their SWOT analysis in collaboration, so that everybody gets to understand it a little bit better. Is there any volunteers that want to talk about their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats during the training? Okay, I'm guessing not. If we can continue. The first part of a SWOT analysis is that you should basically sit down and possibly gather your team if you have a team, and you should ask yourself, like, what do we do well? What unique resources can we take as serious that will put us forward and that will give us a plus hand while we're trying to do the business? And after answering these two questions, you should ask yourself, what do others see as your strengths? Because sometimes when you're thinking about your strong parts, you may not be able to understand that you have a strong ability, but since it's your ability or it's your company's ability, you may not know, but you should possibly, like, that's what I do, that's why I tell everyone to do. While you're talking about your business, you should think about an investor. Like, if you were an investor, if you had money, would you want to invest in this company? Like, this is the main, it should be the main thought about the SWOT analysis or the business model canvas while you're doing, like, if you are going to give money to somebody, what do you want to hear or what do you want to see from them? This should be the main question that you ask yourself while doing all this preparation stuff. The other part of SWOT analysis is weaknesses. Like, what are your current weaknesses? What could you improve? Where do you have fewer resources than others? What are others likely to see as your weaknesses? While doing this, like while doing a SWOT analysis, you can just like basically take a piece of paper and start doing your SWOT analysis. And while doing that, you will most probably write down like lots and lots of strengths, and you will not possibly be able to find any weaknesses. And to be able to be more objective, to be able to see your weaknesses more, you can just, as I said before, think as a investor. Like when most people who own a startup or who want to start a startup start doing a SWOT analysis, they will most probably write the #1 thing in the weaknesses that we are a startup. This may, like, being a startup could be written down in strengths, weaknesses, threats, or opportunities. Like, depends on how you think about it. The third part of the SWOT analysis is the opportunities. Like, what opportunities are open to you? Usually opportunities are written according to the weakness part, because if you have a significant weakness, you possibly solving that weakness could be an opportunity for you to go forward in the business or gain a bigger market, and possibly many other things about your idea. And the main thing about the opportunities part is what are the current trends in the world, in technology, or in your business, local business or global business. You can just look at the trends and see what the business is going into, like the next 10 years, 20 years, and what are your current advantages, like what are your current strong points that will turn these trends into an opportunity for you. The opportunities part is in my opinion, the most important part about the SWOT analysis, and it will possibly, like while writing it down, it will open up new doors in your mind to possibly like take your business forward. And yeah, the last part about the SWOT analysis are the threats. Before getting into these things I wrote and you can see on the screen, while creating a SWOT analysis, a threats part, my recommendation is that all of us should do a risk analysis. Has anybody done it, like a written risk analysis before? I'm not sure, but while determining the threats, I strongly recommend a risk analysis. Like, the risk analysis doesn't have to be like that complicated, nothing. The main things in a risk analysis should be, what is a risk you see? What is the possibility of that risk occurring? What is the effect that it will give to your business? And if you could point the possibility and the effect of these two things from 1 to 5 for all of the risks, you can see in the end what your possible threats are. So my recommendation is, while doing a SWOT analysis and while you're in the threats part, you can just do a quick risk analysis to see what are the real threats, what are the threats that will do major damage to you if it happens. And in the final part, you could just say your precaution to make sure this risk doesn't happen, or if it happens, to go through it with minimum risk. What is a business model canvas? A business model canvas is basically the visual representation of the various elements of your business model. So it's basically there are lots of types of business model canvases, and each one of them, I will show you in the next slides, have different topics. Like one asks for customer segments, one asks for like channels that you want to do work. Like all of these are actually like they're important, but they are actually not that. They're not a must, if I should say it shortly. Like in the canvas, you should basically write down your idea, your assumptions, and the risks, as I said previously. After you write your project, you should write about the market. Like who's going to buy this? Who am I going to sell this to? How am I going to sell this to? We will look into those in detail in the next parts of the canvas, but the main thing is that you should create a self-projection about your business or your idea on a written piece of paper. This is the main idea of a business model canvas, and I find it to be very useful. Like mostly if you're in the beginning phase of your like company, of your startup, creating a business model canvas will help you see the positives and negatives or the unknown parts of your journey that will take you into making business. There are like lots of types of canvases, but in like when you research it up, there are 3 main types of canvases that can be done. The first one is the Stahler business model canvas. This one is the best, no, not the best, the first business model canvas that has been created, and it basically puts forward like lots of questions to make you think about them and write them. Like some questions are like, what do you offer? What is your value chain? What are the core capabilities? What are the partners that you have or you might need? What are the channels, like the distribution and the communication channels that you might need in order to reach the customers, to communicate with the customers while creating value? And after, like, actually before you decide on these, you should talk about, like, the most important part is, who are the customers? Like, if you're doing something, as Mr. Asker said, to sell something, who are you going to sell it to? This is the first and most important part of any canvas or any business idea that you need, because as long as, like, your idea or your product is important, as long as somebody buys it from you. So the first thing in all business model canvases is the customer who's going to buy it. What are they going to buy it? Like, these are the main things. The second model canvas is the Osterwalder and Pigner canvas. This canvas model first appeared in a popular book called Business Model Innovation. This is the most, like, used model canvas in the internet, and like when you search as business model canvas, this is the one that's most probably going to come up to you. This one has fewer topics. I believe there's 9 topics in this canvas, while in the previous canvas there was way more topics and way more questions. It's basically up to you to choose the canvas model of your choice, because if you are more experienced, you may, like, when they say key partners to you, you would be able to start and write down all your key partners. But if you are more new and if you are doing a canvas to see what state you are on, I recommend you should do the Stahler business model, because it puts forward more questions to you, and while answering those questions, you will get to determine some more important parts of your business to see before you start the business. And the third part and the most new canvas is Ash Maria's lean canvas. Like, in her words, she like this canvas is favored by product managers, and it's basically going through a problem and the solution. And there is a specific addition to this canvas that the other ones didn't have, is the unfair advantage. The unfair advantage is, as all of you may have heard, it's something that you have and you might, like others might not even buy this with, even though if they have lots of money. So while doing this lean canvas model, after determining the customers and the problems and the solution, you should write down, you should think about your unfair advantage actually, because there's always a thing my old boss used to say, like, if it was easy, everybody would have done it. And there is a reason we are doing it right now. And that is basically the answer to your unfair advantage. Like you might have a really good network that nobody could really have quickly. And you are using that network to market your product or your company. This might be your unfair advantage. Or I don't know, you may be coming from a rich family who are looking forward to support you. This might be your unfair advantage to your opponents in the sector, because this might not be something that anybody could achieve right away. Or I don't know, like you might be, you might have received education in a really good high school or a really good university. This might be your unfair advantage. There might, like, there should be something that you could decide as an unfair advantage to basically give the answer to why are you the person that is doing this and why not anybody else? What's going to put you forward from any other person that is trying to accomplish this thing? That's your unfair advantage. And yeah, this is Ash Maria's lean canvas. There is something that I really enjoy while doing a canvas and basically any other thing. Like when you take a canvas in front of you and start writing down your ideas, like your canvas should be smart. Like what is smart? As you can see on the screen, it should, isn't it about the product? Unfair advantage in the canvas. It can be about the product. It can be about you, like the business owner, or it can be about your company. Like your company could be, like, for example, the only water bottle manufacturer in Uzbekistan, and you being the only manufacturer is an unfair advantage. So it doesn't have to be about the product. It can be about the entrepreneur. It can be about the startup. It can be about the product. All of them are fine. Or other than these three, you might have a sales model that only you have that puts you like miles and miles in front of any other person. This could be an unfair advantage as well. I'm not sure if I was able to answer your question. Okay. You're welcome. The things you're writing down on a canvas is like, let's just be honest here. When we are talking about our own business, and if we're like doing this canvas for somebody else to see, we're not going to write down any negative parts. We will just try to write anything we can to possibly impress the other person in front of us or next to us, to just like let them know that we know what we're doing. But a canvas should be like, before you share a canvas with anybody, my recommendation is everybody, like even if you are a student or even if you are working in the sector for 20 years, everybody should do a canvas, and the things they write down on their canvas should have these 5 specialties. First of all, it should be specific. Like you shouldn't write down, like for example, you're selling lemonade, and in the customers part, like who's going to buy this part, you shouldn't just write down people. Like okay, you're selling lemonade. Yes, people will buy the lemonade, but you are working in a small community. You're selling lemonade in a small community, and you're not going to be able to sell lemonade to some person in Antarctica. So first of all, your things you write down should be specific for the canvas to make sure that make more sense. And the other thing about the canvas is that it should be measurable. Like you shouldn't write down, I'm going to partner up with all the manufacturers around the world. Like, okay, I'm sure you want to partner up with all the manufacturers all around the world, but you should be more measurable. It should be more realistic, actually. And is there a free offline business training? Yeah, the opportunity. About this subject, or I couldn't understand, Miss Matilda. Possible? Could you? Yes, I'm recording the training right now. Am I not? Yes, I'm recording the training right now. Yes, I will be sharing the training, and if you want the presentation afterwards for you to look into in more detail. Okay, let's continue. Another thing that, like the things you're writing down in your canvas, is that they should be achievable. Canvas doesn't really ask for your goals in a numeric way, but while writing down like your possible, I don't know, partnerships or any other part of your canvas, you should make sure that things you're writing down are achievable to make more sense and to see if they're achievable. Because in a canvas, it will ask you about how you will make revenue, like how will you make money, and the things you write down there should be achievable. Because if you're like, I don't know, selling some things on the street, you will not be able to say that my revenue streams will come from the internet. Like it should be achievable, and it should be relevant, and it should be time bound. I'm not just going to go on this for that long. But the things you're writing down on a canvas should be, first of all, before any of these 5 things, it should be honest. Because the main purpose of a canvas is that you should write all these things down to yourself about your company, about your product, about your idea, to make sure, like, to be true with yourself. If everything's going well, if everything's going to go well, like just to make sure that you are in the right path. So canvas should be smart, as I said, but before being smart, it should be honest. Now I'm going to give a little bit break, and after the break, we will quickly start with the detailed parts of the business model canvas. Does anybody have any questions until this part that we have, Kate? Okay, I'm guessing not. I will see all of you in 10 minutes. Is that okay for everybody? Okay.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, see you in 10 minutes.
Thank you. Hormatli ishtirokchilar, 10 minutdan keyin yana shu joyda ko'rishamiz. Iltimos, hozir bo'lishlaringizni. Dear participants, please, we will wait for you in 10 minutes here. Dear participant Matilda, you can send me your question through email, and I will help you to solve your issue. O'zingizga bog'liq, oxirida proyekt qilish. Osira Mahmudova. Agar proyekt qilsangiz, ko'rib chiqishga yordam berishimiz mumkin ekspertlar bilan birgalikda. Hussein Akramovdan qanaqa ma'lumot? Bu hali birinchi boshlanishi kursimiz. Hurmatli ishtirokchilar, 10 kun, 5 kun davomida 10 ta modul o'tiladi. Intensiv kursimizda startaplarni g'oyadan to biznes loyiha shakliga kelguncha to'liq shakllantirish bo'yicha o'sha 10 ta modul bo'yicha 10 ta Turkiyani Technopol Istanbul deb nomlangan texnoparkini rezidentlari, professorlar, undan tashqari shu sohadagi yetakchi mutaxassislar bevosita European Commission, ya'ni Yevropa komissiyasi tomonidan tan olingan yaxshi loyiha ishtirokchilari, ixtirochilari sizlar bilan birgalikda shu darslarni o'tib beradi. Sure, I will try to send training records not through Telegram, but through email, because I have your email address. Aynan mana shu investitsiya olish uchun qilinyapti bu qo'li seminarlar. Shuning uchun bemalol o'sha asosiy 10 ta savol bo'ladi startapda. Mana shu 10 ta savol asosida investorlarga prezentatsiya yasash imkoniyatiga ega bo'lasizlar. Offline bo'lmaydi, faqat onlayn. Hurmatli ishtirokchilar, bu investitsiya masalasiga tayyorlash bizning asosiy maqsadimiz, chunki investitsiyalar ko'p, xatarlari bor, moliyaviy institutlar bizada ko'p, davlat grantlari bor, venture fondlar bor. Lekin loyihalarni sifatli topshirishlaring uchun bu imkoniyat. Biznes rejalarini shakllantirishda mana shu o'tkazilayotgan kurslar sizlarga foydali bo'ladi. Shular asosida agar biznes rejalarini qiladigan bo'lsalaring, investitsiya yoki venture fond yoki grant olish sizlarga osonroq. Shu uchun tashkil qilingan bevosita Innovatsion rivojlanish vazirligini grant dasturlariga, grant tanlovlariga topshirishlaring mumkin. Hurmatli ishtirokchilar, men hammani pochtasiga registratsiya qilgan pochtalaringizga programmani tashlaganman, dasturni. Siz dasturni ko'rishingiz mumkin. Har xil soatlarda O'zbekiston vaqti bilan yozilgan. Sal kechroqga to'g'ri kelib qolishi mumkin, chunki Turkiya bizdan 2 soat oldinda. Shuni inobatga olib kirishlaringiz mumkin. Sizlarga jo'natilgan Excel fayldagi dastur O'zbekiston soati bilan to'g'ri. Bundan tashqari bir kunda 2 ta sessiya bo'lishi mumkin yoki 3 ta. Shunga qarab vaqtingizni ajratsangiz bo'ladi. Asosan shu soat 11 yoki 1 da boshlanadi. Prezentatsiyalarni jo'natishga harakat qilaman. Trenerlardan so'rab taqdim qilishsa, albatta pochta orqali sizlarga jo'natib yuboramiz. Bu faqat kurs oxirida.
Sizga nima deb keldi? Eksiydan joy o'zgarib qoldimi sizda?
Exam registratsiya uchun kiradigan joyimiz bor. Shu yerda ko'rsatib turadi, oldinda registratsiya
Yerbol Sharipov anaqa mikrofoningiz yonib qolib ketdi.
Hello. We can continue if everybody's here.
Okay, Mr. Cihangir.
Somebody wrote something down on chat 1 minute ago. I'm sorry, I'm not able to understand. Musina wrote something. Can somebody possibly translate it to English so I can understand and answer her?
Mr. Cihangir, actually, these participants, we chatted this and I answered all the questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Abdulaziz. So let's go into more detail. Okay, this thing you see on the screen is like a general canvas example. The main topics are customer segments. Like I numbered them specifically because it's more effective if you do if you fill the canvas up in a certain route. Like you should start with customer segments, continue with value proposition, then channels, then customer relationships, revenue streams, key resources, key activities, key partners, and cost structure. We will go deep into them right now, but this is like a basic Canvas business model example. So the first part, what is the customer segments? The customer segments block in the Canvas is the part where you write down different groups of people, organizations, your company aims to reach and to serve. Like this is the most important part because as I said previously, like you're doing something, but who are you doing it for? Who's going to buy this from you, like product, service, or any other thing? Like, who is the customer? This is the most important thing you should decide on while you are creating a canvas. And while doing this, you should ask yourself 2 questions. Like, you can ask same questions to like anything you're doing this canvas about. Like, if it can be about your company, it can be about you yourself, or it can be about a product, an idea. The first question you should ask yourself is for who you are creating this value. Like in my example, I'm creating software and medical devices for the orthopedic sector. So when I ask myself, who are we creating the value for, is like the answer that's coming to mind is the patients, like patients who have problem with their orthopedic body parts, or I can say the doctors, because I'm creating these softwares and these medical devices for the customers to use. And who are our most important customers? So like these 2 questions are the most important questions that you should do while doing your canvas models customer segments block. And I forgot to say before getting into this area, after we go through all the parts of the canvas business model, I will share a form through the Zoom chat that's basically sums up into a business model canvas. Like there is the main topics of the canvas, and I will share it to you. And I would be very happy if you could fill those gaps, fill those parts up, so that we can see like several examples of canvas models for all of you. In most business model canvases, there are like specific types of customer segments, and you like if you cannot know like specific customer segments while doing your canvas, you could choose one of the customer segments that I have written down, and as you can see in the right part of the screen, you can choose like the mass market. You can say a mass market like general people all around the world or in your country. Like if you're selling, I don't know, cookies, your main customer segment could be the mass market. Or if you're creating something more, I don't know, specific, like for example, if you're creating a custom-made watch, you can select the niche market, because you will not be able to sell a custom-made expensive watch to any person from any place in the world. So like creating something custom or more expensive could be a niche market. We can give the car example. For example, if you are like making cars like Volkswagen, your main customer segment could be the mass market, because it usually makes cars that are not very niche. Like anybody who earns like a significant amount of money could buy Volkswagen. But if you're, for example, producing, I don't know, Ferrari, not everybody around the world could buy a Ferrari. So creating a Ferrari makes your customer segment a more niche market. There are some other types of customer segments, such as segmented, diversified, or multi-sided platforms. Like basically these 5 topics are, I don't recommend you to write from these 5 topics in your customer segments, because canvas model is much more effective when you write it in detail. So choosing from these 5 options is not very recommended. The second part is the value proposition part of the canvas. And what's the thing about value proposition? The value proposition is the bundle of products, services, or any other thing you create a value through for the customers that you have written down in the prior part. Like, what do you deliver to the customer? What do you serve them? This is like the most important thing you should write down in value proposition. What do you offer? And the second key question you should ask yourself while writing this part down is, which one of your customers' problems are you solving through this solution that you are serving? It could be a product or it could be a service, as I said before. And it doesn't have to be like in one value proposition for one customer segment. You could write down several customers, and you could write down several products or services that you are offering to each of them to solve any problem that they have. And like the main thing about this part is, which customer needs are you satisfying? This is like what you should decide on after deciding on your target customers or your current customers. The key points about this value proposition block is that it creates value for a customer segment through a mix of elements regarding on the customer's needs. So you could decide on the customers first and then write down the value you choose, or you could decide on the value you produce, you serve, and then you could see the I create this value, and who needs, who are the customers that need this. You could do it either way. My recommendation is that you decide on the customers first and then write down the value you serve. The values you write down could be both quantitative or qualitative. Like, you could be serving people something that will make it cheaper for them, that make it more high quality for them, more easier for them. Like, any or all of these things could be a part of the value you produce and you serve to the customers. The elements that contribute to the customer value creation, like the value proposition, is that you should have some things that you lean on while deciding on the value you serve. Like, it's better if the value you serve is new. It's better if it is valuable through the performance it makes. Does it get the job done is one of the most important things, and it could make a difference through the design, through the price, through the cost, through the usability. Like, for example, there can be a solution that's looking pretty good, but it may cost a lot to possibly produce or to serve. And the addition you create could be much more low-cost solution. So when you lower the cost of a product with the same price, this could be a value that you produce. Like, you don't have to come up with a completely new idea, or you don't have to come up with a completely new design, new product. You do not have to. Like, it will be easier, but developing something that there normally exists, but in a better way, could be thought of as a value created for the customers, or it can be easier to use. Like, this is a major value, even though you do not create something innovative. It's not a must. The third part is the channels part of the canvas. The channels block is part where where you should sit down and write how the company reaches the customers to deliver the solution. This is the most important, but basic part. Like we have decided on the problem, we have decided on the solution we create, and how do we take this solution to the customer? This is the part where you should write down how you are going to take the solution to the customer in need. Like the channels could be direct or indirect. You can just go, you can create, like open up a market, like a store, and you can, I don't know, sell your solution through the web. Like all of these are channel types, and you should, like, nobody's going to know that you have the solution that's going to, I don't know, solve cancer if you do not take this to the customers. Like the people who have cancer, like nobody's going to know that you created something really good if you do not take them this solution. So the key questions while deciding on the channel blocks, like the channels part, is through which channels do our customers want to be reached. Like, for example, most people, like in our country, at least, like all around the world, not many people go to like malls to, I don't know, buy clothes. They just like enter the online application, they look into the photos, they choose, and they give an order and they get their, I don't know, clothing. But if you're creating new clothes, for example, that's your idea, that's your business, you should like think about online sales and opening up a store, possibly giving your products to other stores that may want to sell them. Like, how are you going to take your product and serve it to the customer? The channels part is basically that. My recommendation while creating the channels part is that if you already have a business, or if there's already a business that's doing something similar to what you want to do, you could write down like what the current form of taking the solution to the customer is and what you want to do. Like online sales, like store sales, these are the current ways. And if you have something new, like if you have another method, you could put it in channels. Does somebody have a question? I'm guessing somebody opened their microphone. Okay, now. Okay, we could continue. The fourth part is customer relationships. This is the block where the types of relationships of a company establish with the customer segments. Like, how do you reach, not to sale, but how do you get in contact with the customers? Like, categories of customer relationships could be personal assistance, dedicated personal assistance, self-service, automated services. Like, how do you get in contact? How do you keep your relationship with the customers? While writing this part, the key question you should ask yourself. Sorry. One second, please. I'm going to have to silence the microphone. I couldn't find it. I'm just going to continue. Please ask me to repeat if you cannot hear me. The key question of the customer relationships block in the canvas is what type of relationship does each of our customers expect us to establish and maintain? Like if you're doing an online sales, it might not be that much of an issue, but if you're doing business with people, you have to keep a certain relationship with them to make sure they continue to like basically work with you. And this is an important part of the canvas that you should decide on while like after you have decided on the customers, after you have decided on the solutions and the channels that you are going to serve them, how are you continue your relationship with the customers to make sure that they will continue doing business with you, basically. The next part is the revenue streams part. The revenue streams is where things get serious, actually, in the canvas. It's like the things you write down in the revenue streams part is basically the cash, the money your company earns from each customer. You should write down like how are you getting them, like in what form are you going to receive the money from the customers, like in what ways. It can be, I don't know, usage fee, it can be subscription fees, it can be lending, renting, leasing, it can be licensing, it can be just direct sale, like they can pay you in cash or they can pay you in credit card if you have the appropriate part. This is, like when I was first creating a canvas, I didn't really care about this revenue streams part because in my opinion, it was just like, as long as somebody has a problem, as long as somebody wants, and I have a solution, as long as they want to buy it from me, they can get it from me. But the most important thing is like, I have a question. For example, is there anybody between you who use Netflix, for example? Okay, like, okay, let's just not go on Netflix, but just any other app. For example, like, well, let's just continue on Netflix. Netflix usually charges you like a certain amount of money each month where you subscribe, and they just take it from you each month for as long as you continue to use the application service. Okay, I do not know what SaaS is, so. Okay, let me just continue. Like, for example, if Netflix asked for a one-time sales fee, like, for example, millions and millions of people use Netflix all around the world because we all pay, I don't know, like 10 liras, 20 liras, I don't know, 50 liras a month to continue using it. But if Netflix was to, I don't know, request like $1,000 from the people that want to use Netflix, would like these millions and millions of people pay $1,000 at once to continue using it? I'm guessing not. So depending on the service you like, depending on the value you serve to the customer, you should really decide on how you are going to generate the money from the customer. The key questions about this part is, for what value are the customers really willing to pay, and what do they currently pay for right now? When you ask these two questions, and the third one is like, how will you receive the money from the customer, you will be able to write down your revenue streams in the canvas. The next part is the key resources part. Oh, yes, software as a service. Yes, that's pretty accurate to the part that we have spoken. When you write, like, when you take software as a service, it will not be very useful if you just pay it for once, because it will be a very high amount of money for somebody to, like, I don't know, pay it at once, and this will make the customer to not want to buy your service. The next part is the key resources block. This is the part where you decide the most important assets required to make your business work. Like this is basically more about the company or like your team in general. Are you in the right state? Are you available to do this strategy? Like are you available in a physical way? Are you available in an intellectual way or a human resources way or financial way? Like you can have a really great idea and you can have really good finances and really good, I don't know, materials, but you may need like high quality people to continue doing a certain business because like, for example, I'm working on software and medical device part, but I myself have never sit down and written a code. And if I want to do, like if I did not have software engineers that I'm working with, I would not be able to create the software no matter how good of an idea it was. Or I may have the great ideas, I might have the people, like the human resources, but I might not have the physical, like I might not have the financial resources that I will need while trying to create the solution and to reach the customers. So while writing down the key resources, you should just ask yourself what key resources do our value propositions, like the value of the solution, the product we offer to the customers require, like what do we need? If you're, I don't know, doing something manufacturing, you're going to need money to work in the manufacturing part. The people, you're going to need money to, I don't know, buy devices, buy marketing, like you need to spend some money, and this key resources block is the part where you should decide on if everything you need, like on what level are the things that are key to you and what could you do to get them in a better state to continue working. The next part is the key activities part. The key activities is basically the most important thing that your company must do to make its business work. Like, is the most important thing about your business production? Is it serving? Is it problem solving? Is it is it creating a network? Like as the person in the chat said, software as a service, like this is a service, or you can be like I don't know, lawyers, for example, are creating a service and they're problem solving, or some other people, like they are creating, like they're producing stuff. Like what is the key activity that you do? Like this is basically the question that you answer when somebody asks, what do you do in your business? You should clearly write down what your key activities are, and this is actually similar to the value proposition part, the second part we talked about. But the difference between key activities and the value proposition is that the value proposition is the part where you make a difference, like the thing you put forward that possibly keeps you apart from all the other people, like all the other parts in the system. But in the key activities, you can just write down, like I produce software, I serve people or companies in need with my software engineers, or I don't know, we can fix the software problems, or we can create a network where we can bring software engineers from different places in the world to the people who need software engineers, and then we can make money from this as well. Like this is a platform created for people to, I don't know, receive service. The key partners in the Canvas business model is like as it's named, actually, like who are your key partners to succeed, to do what you want to do? Like they can be suppliers, they can be partners, they can be, I don't know, like distributors, like who are the key partners to make you succeed? There are 3 motivations, actually. Like there are lots of motivations for creating partnerships, but I will just talk about 3 of them. The first one is optimization and economy of scale. Like you can have partners that help you in economic way, or you can have key partnerships that reduce the risk and the uncertainty to make sure, like in my example, as I said, maybe if I sat down to learn how to code to basically develop a software, maybe I could have, but it would have taken like a long time and I would have kept myself back from the rest of the business. And I might not know the software and how to code as much as people who do it for a business. So creating key partnerships reduces the risk and the uncertainty. And this is the part where you see who are you walking on this road with. The next part is the acquisition of particular resources. For example, you are, I don't know, creating a face cream with mushrooms. I don't know, just an example. And if you were to just like hire people to go and collect mushrooms and clean them up for you to take those mushrooms and create a lotion, it's going to be lots and lots of work and possibly going to be more expensive. But if you make like key partnerships with people who collect mushrooms for a living, you can just like buy the resources that you need for them. So key partnerships is the part of the canvas that you should decide who am I going to work in collaboration with while I'm doing what I'm serving to the customers. The next part is the cost structure part. Cost structure is the part where most people who do canvas business models get stuck on, because it's like you should write down like in a basic way, not just like every single cost, but the cost structure block, you should write down all costs required to operate your business. This can be like rent, this can be the salaries of people you work with, this can be the things you buy before you sell. You should see the most important costs needed in your business model and which ones are the most expensive. Like for example, let's go from the mushroom face cream example. If I'm doing a face cream and the amount of mushrooms I use in the face cream are more expensive than the face cream I'm trying to sell in a certain price, this business is basically not going to work. So the cost structure part is where you should decide what are the things required to keep continuing your business. Okay. Let's do a basic canvas example from a lemonade stand. If you want, is there any volunteers who want to fill in any part of this canvas topics about a lemonade stand? Okay, I'm guessing not. Like for example, if we are planning on selling lemonade in a lemonade stand, who will be our main customers? Like this is the first question that we could ask each other. Our customers that, for example, we're selling lemonade and our customers are possibly the visitors that go around the place that I don't know, live near the place that we created our lemonade stand, and they are the possible people that might just buy our stuff while going through our lemonade stand, right? Like we have decided on our customers. Now, what do we serve those customers, those visitors? Like what is our value that we create?
Oh, I think it's if there is no nearby a shop with water, then probably we'll buy for. I mean, we'll go for lemonade. Even it's, I mean, a lot of sugar. It needs a lot of sugar. It's made just at the street. You know, I think somebody who is concerning about food safety would not go, but somebody who wants to drink a lot maybe would go. Something like that.
Okay, what you said is more suitable in the customer segments part, I believe, if I understood right. We have decided on the customers, like we are looking forward to pulling people to sell lemonade to. For that part, it's pretty agreeable to what you said. The value we serve to the visitors are basically what we're doing. We are offering lemonade to them, and they don't have to just like sit down and drink their lemonade. We can just take their money, give them the lemonade, and they can just continue. The value we are serving the customers is called tasty lemonade. This is the value we create, like cheap, cold drink. It could be said as a value proposition in this case. The next part is the channels part. As I have said previously, we decided on the customers, we decided on what we are going to serve them. Now, the channels part was how are we going to reach the customers? How are we going to take this thing we created and give it to the customers? There can be several examples for a lemonade selling business example. For example, first of all, you can like build a booth where you can just like write down lemonade, I don't know, $1 for a cup, and you will put lemonade in cups and all the other things there. And when people get passed by, you can just sell them lemonade right there. And I don't know, there may be, you can just create lemonade.com, for example. People might be able to go into the website and they can just order lemonade from you, and you will just take lemonade to them. This could be another channel if you want. Or you can just take your cups, take your lemonade and go door to door, and you can just sell to people in their houses, and you don't have to wait for them. And you can, I don't know, ring their bell, ask them for if they would like to get lemonade, and if they say yes, you can just serve them lemonade. This could be another channel to serve lemonade, to sell lemonade to people. I'm just like guessing right now. If there, like, if anybody has any idea how we could sell lemonade other than these ways, please just join in and put forward your ideas, please. The next part was, if you remember, customer relationships. Like, who are the, like, we have decided on our customers, and who are the customers actually, basically. This customer relationships and customer segments part could be usually confused. But when you start writing them down, you could see, like, for example, in this lemonade example, we could say the customer relationships. I don't know, could be friends, could be family, could be people from schools nearby, or people from the stores nearby. Like, all of these are some customers that would be better if you continue your relationship with, because they will, in the end of the day, might have the possibility to come to your lemonade shop and they can buy lemonade from you. Next part is the revenue streams part. Like, we found the customer, we found the value, we know how to take the value we created to the customer. What are our like revenue streams? Where do we earn the money from? Anybody? Okay. In my opinion, in a lemonade selling business, the main two details of earning money could be the lemonade sales, and it could also be tips. Like people buy lemonade and they can leave you tips. These two could be the main revenue streams of your business. The key resources, like the key things that you need to continue this business to keep this business going on, are, as Miss said, you're going to need lemon, you're going to need water, you're going to need sugar, you're going to need cups. I don't know, I can't think of anything else you would need in a lemonade selling business right now. I don't know if you want to create a place where people could sit down and drink lemonade, you're going to need, I don't know, like desks, chairs, and other stuff like that. These are the key resources to basically create lemonade and sell lemonade and receive the money for the lemonade. Like these are the key resources. The key activities that your business is doing to continue is, first of all, making lemonade and selling lemonade. Like these two could be the most clear examples of the key activities in a lemonade selling business. The key partners that you could do, that you could have in a lemonade selling business is, I don't know, you could have like friends who are not just normal customers, but when you need to sell, you could just go to your friends and offer them lemonade. They could be your partners, or your friends could come and help you while doing like lemonade or while selling lemonade. This makes them your one of your key partners. And family, like another key partner could be your family. Like for example, you made lemonade, you couldn't sell all of it, and you didn't earn money. Your family could help you financially to buy lemon or buy sugar. In this situation, it makes your family one of your key partners. In the cost structure part, like what's the cost structure in a lemonade selling business? It might be the salaries that you might need to offer. It might be, I don't know, the flyers that you put around in the neighborhood to call people to buy lemonade from you, or it could be the equipment that you make lemonade with, like the things that you squeeze the lemon, or things that you, I don't know, like all of these cost things that the ingredients for the lemonade go into the cost structure. Are we clear on this part? I just want to stay here a little bit more and to make sure from a more basic example, if everybody has understood how to implement a random business into the Canvas business model. Anybody? Any comments? Any questions? Okay, let's just do one more example. Oh, yes, somebody. Okay. Let's just go on something that is already existing and try to make our guesses. Like, for example, you have Skype on the table and you want to create a business model for Skype. First of all, who would be your customer segments? Like who are you trying to reach with Skype?
Internet users.
Yes, that is correct. Like you have Skype, you would want to reach the global internet users. That's true. What is the value proposition that you serve? Like you have Skype, what's the value that it serves to the internet users?
To give them possibility of meeting this kind of
Yes, it's
virtual meeting.
true. Like you serve people free video calling, right? This is the most important thing that you put forward for people to work with you, actually, to use your service. This is the value you serve them. Okay. Through which channel do you reach those customers to serve them your serve them your service? Like what does Skype do?
Channels, yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Channels.
Yes, channels part. Okay, let's just say it like this. In my opinion, like the way we customers as Skype users use Skype is we enter the internet and we write down skype.com. This is the channel, like the website, the global website, like skype.com or the Skype application that we are able to access through our phones is the channel that Skype reaches us, the internet users, to serve their solution. I'm going to skip the customer relationships part. What about the revenue streams of Skype? Like how does Skype earn money? And in this situation, Skype is free actually. How does Skype earn money from serving this free video call service? Anybody have an idea?
I haven't used Skype, but I think maybe its monetization, its revenue streams, it's about advertising, maybe advertising or premium, this kind of things.
Yes, Mr. Abdulaziz, that is very true. Skype has advertisements and it has a subscription package that people could pay money to speak for longer amounts of time and to not see the advertisations. This is the Skype's main revenue streams. That is correct. What are the key resources and like the key activities? Like what does Skype need in order to work? Actually, what does it do? Skype needs, like Skype, since Skype is a software developing company, it needs software developers. Like the key resources for Skype to continue is, like we could say, Skype needs software developers to continue serving customers. What is the key activity that Skype does? Like we said, the value proposition, okay, it serves video calling technology. But when we're writing down the key activity of Skype, we could say software development, right? Just go like this so everybody could see, and we could just talk on it about a little bit more. The key partners, for example, in Skype, it could be the distribution partners and the payment providers. Because for Skype to continue earning money and serving customers, Skype is going to need partners and I don't know, payment providers. Like if you are paying Skype in a regular basis, this could possibly make you a key partner for Skype, because Skype needs you and people like you to basically continue its operation. The cost structure is like, what does Skype, like what's the most important things? Like what are the costs that Skype has to continue? We could say like Skype is constantly spending money on software development, and in addition, Skype has a complaint management system where it needs to spend money to like deal with this problem as well, right? This could be said as a part of the cost structure of Skype. In this case, Skype is in. Okay, these were the main parts of Canvas business model, and I'm going to give a break for half an hour, a lunch break. And after the lunch break, like before going into the lunch break, I will send a link, a form link through the chat part of this training. And I would like everybody to click on that link and open up the link in their screens, so that in the second part, we can do more of an application, and that we create a canvas from beginning, from, I don't know, anybody's, like we can create something new to make sure everybody could see how a canvas is prepared from the beginning. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will stop sharing my screen and I will send the form link right now through chat, and I will see all of you in half an hour, with hopefully some of you writing down, like completing the form and possibly creating a canvas. I have shared the link through the chat part, and I will see all of you in half an hour, so that we can open up a new page and, I don't know, like do a canvas with some of the people who are volunteers. Okay, any questions up until this part? I'm guessing not. Then I will see all of you in half an hour.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cihangir, for your interesting lecture. Hurmatli ishtirokchilar, faol bo'lamiz. Keyingi sessiyalarda ko'rishguncha iltimos o'sha Turkiya vaqti bilan tushlik vaqti bo'ldi. Bilan tushlikdan so'ng biz ko'rishamiz. Link bo'yicha Canva biznes modelini o'zlaringizni loyihangiz bo'yicha sinab ko'rishlaringiz mumkin. Rahmat. Iltimos qilamiz, aytilgan vaqtdan kech qolmaysizlar.
Should we continue? Is everybody here? Okay. Now, before we start the training, the collaboration part, I just want to say something and then ask a question. First of all, the second part that we will start right now, I need for all of you possibly to interact. I will put a blank canvas in the screen, and together we should fill that up together. It doesn't have to be your specific project that you want to do. Let's just all together create a random idea and fill up the canvas according to that. I do not want any of you to tell me about your original idea. I'm not like, I know it's not the best condition for you to tell your, I don't know, like secret project in front of this many people. So after I put the blank canvas on the page, on the screen, let's just all together fill that up and create a canvas to see if we understood everything. All right? Am I clear?
I'm sorry, Zishan, it's you know, it's a bit cultural. We come to talking usually after some sessions, so no worries. It's nothing to do with the layout. Just we just need a little bit energizing moments to pass. Then everybody will talk, I think.
Okay, that's great, because like we are done with the theoretic part of the training. Like Canvas business model is, as I have explained in the past hour, like it's not a very complicated, very detailed thing. So for this training to continue in a more efficient way, I'm going to need all of you to participate.
Okay, let's get started.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mohammed, I couldn't hear you.
Let's get started.
Okay, let's get started. And before getting into that, is there any questions that anybody wants to ask through speaking, or you could write them down? If anybody wants to ask any questions about the theoretic part of the business model canvas, we can start with the questions and then continue.
I had question, and I think I wrote on chat, but probably it's lost. I used to use this Canva for different ideas and for my own business model. But I just want to know whether it is an instrument to. I'm afraid somebody is interrupting me.
I'm sorry, Miss Mustafa Hocam, mikrofonunuz açık, şu anda sesiniz geliyor. Hanımefendiyi duyamıyoruz. Yes, Miss, please continue. I'm sorry.
So I used to use this Canva for different ideas and also for the classic model of our business. Just as you know, when we use this Canva, everything seems like doable. Yes, everything becomes clear, but usually it doesn't seem that the idea is, let's say, like a crazy or bullshit. It looks like that doable, but maybe it's wrong instrument to check the feasibility of the startup idea or business model. Maybe we ask questions differently. Just I want to know the answer to the doubt. Like maybe it's not a right tool to check the idea whether it's feasible. Maybe it's something that's used afterwards.
I can't completely agree, because the thing is, if you really know the like the thing you're going to develop the project, and if you know the market, like depends on your experience. But when you use the canvas and when you use it from the beginning, you will know in a better way. Like you will have the chance to see yourself. You might find it in need for a later phase, but it's really up to you actually. Like I personally, when I have an idea, like, okay, I have an idea, I want to make this a project and I want to develop it and then make this a project and then make this a product. I do a canvas myself to see if the project is feasible. And before I do the canvas, I, of course, ask like consultants, like, for example, I work in the medical device sector, and my main like users are orthopedic doctors. So yes, I agree. Before doing a canvas, I talk to the surgeons to see if my idea is feasible. But in every condition, you might not have direct contact with your customer segment, actually. So doing a canvas could be helpful for any kind of project to see if it's worth your time to work on it. Could I explain this?
Yes, let's try this
Okay.
I mean, more times. Let's see. But usually I come up like, okay, this works, just we have to improve this part or that part. Then anyways, then when we really talk with somebody who is in this field, I mean, more close to the processes and other things, then we understand that, like, starting from business Canva maybe was not the best way. Maybe we had the first talk, then even it stopped there, because in business Canva it seems that if we improve this part, then it will go. In many cases, it will not go because we have too little information to decide or something like that. That's why I was checking maybe this tool is not the right one. Probably that's what I heard once more time from your example, that yes, first just come with the people, then once it seems that it has perspective, then maybe come to business Canva.
Okay, I believe I
Thank you.
understood. Let's see, let's just do one example with the participation of everybody, and see if we can see if the canvas works for an idea that's just in the idea phase, and if we decide to, I don't know, should we spend more time on the development, should we study on the subject more, or are we ready to possibly enter the development and possibly go enter the market? Do we know what we need, what we have? Okay, so like in the beginning, Mr. Askar and Mr. Muhammad, I guess, and several other people told me that they are business owners and they have ideas and they want to
Yani kanun sum bilen yani orkestikluğuna halatı barana turba kensin taşavadan akama ürüklerden alış gerekler, görüş gerek, abrazesi veriş gerekler. Turba baradıkı profil. Muhal oldu mu ya? Nirceyken mesela. 50 nirceyke bu mana turba. Sen nirceyken takasın. Nirceyke sizede.
İnandıran telefonu çıktı.
Oldu buraya cevap verişi gerekler turar. Lan bunlara.
Can't understand.
Your
microphone's open.
He opens the microphone by chance.
I turned his microphone off. I'm hoping he wasn't saying something to us. Okay, so who wants to volunteer to just give up, like throw an idea so that we can do this in collaboration and create a Canvas business model all together? I'm going to need participation in this part, as I have said, to make this more worth of all of our times. So anybody wants to throw an idea?
Let's go through our idea then. Is it available?
I can't hear you, mister. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's talk about our company or our project. We just launched fund for 100,000 K, and we now are hiring dozens of startups. One of them is called AutoLab. Is this fund? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't understand you. I guess there's a problem with your microphone. You said we have a company, we have a project. Let's just do it on the project. Did I
Okay.
hear right?
We just launched a new company, new Tuscan company. I call it AutoWeb. AutoWeb. Yes.
Like this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And this is remote online education for getting driver license. Online education platform.
Okay. So let's just take your new company as an example, if you would like, and let's fill up the canvas according to that. Is it okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, for example, you launched a new company that gives online education for driver's license, right?
Yeah.
So who are your main customers? Like who are you creating this solution to?
Yeah, okay. The first and foremost, we work through B2B segment, so business to business segment, because our main clients are accepted as an old style of ordinary style of education schools. Because in Uzbekistan, driver license are educated in the ordinary schools like offline. So most of them still not have online platforms. So we work through them.
Okay, so your main customers are schools. Did I understand right?
B2B education centers.
Okay, so let's just go slowly and more clearly. You have an online platform for people to go into and get driver's license, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the main customers here are, could we say, people that want to get driver's license?
Yeah. Generally, we can talk like that, but yeah, you made it very clearly. Yeah. To be more clear, give me just a minute. I will explain how it works. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Sure. Our platform, we chose the remote kind of style. So if you know, when you are getting license, apart from theoretical lessons, you have to have practical ones. When you are riding car, when you have passing some kilometers in real automobiles in cars. Yes.
Okay.
So
yes.
Our company wouldn't have own cars. It means that we have not to buy new cars for our hard-earned money. So already these companies, these auto schools in regions, they already have their own cars. Okay. We would use them. So first, theoretical parts of the lessons were conducted by our teachers, by our workers remotely, but their practical lessons will be conducted in the regions with the help of education centers. So that's our company.
Okay. By the way, great idea. I really like it. I wish there was a similar, like a company in Turkey as well. Are you planning on going international, possibly to Turkey? I myself do not have a driver's license yet, so when I heard your idea, it sounds really, really good. I wish you the best.
So thank you.
Okay, so the main customers are basically people who want to get driver's license.
Yeah.
And could we say the current driver's license courses, would they use your system?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else like who could be said as a customer from like other than these? Do you have any?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we have. What kind of customers do we have? Now, when we can talk about real customers of these courses or the real customers of our platform, is the people who work at the apparently in the government sector, who's people who are really busy, people who want to get all education through online platforms.
There is a problem with your microphone. It just.
Yeah, I will.
Okay,
I'll
it's great.
try.
It works now. No problem. Please keep going.
Yeah, so the main customers, the customers who are already busy with work, with education, with something else. So, and another part, women. In other cases, you definitely know that like Turkey, in Uzbekistan, there live lots of Muslim people. Most of Muslim people, Muslim husbands, we would say, they would prohibit for their wives to get some street kind of education. So they can use our platform by using their phones or laptops or something else. So in other cases, in Uzbekistan, we have in other cases when you have to swap your already got license to another.
Okay.
Yeah, when you have to change, and people who know that the time limit is expired already, they have two months, and in this 2 months you can take part in our lessons by while you are riding your car. So you don't have to be physically in the lessons.
Okay, that's once again a great idea. I wrote down people who have to renew their current license. Would that be correct statement?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else that I haven't written down, like that could be said as your customer segment?
Students, maybe.
People who study.
Yeah, people who study.
Okay. Study courses.
Yeah, maybe I can't say that that's all, but that's the main customers of our company.
Okay, this is pretty much enough and pretty detailed and in a good way.
Yeah.
Thank you. 1 second. Okay, what about the value? Like you explained to me in the beginning, your main difference from any other, like what's the value you produce and you serve? Like this is an application, right? A software.
Yeah. We are now working and we are creating software, our stuff for these education centers and for our general platform. Our general platform, how to say, this is multi-functional platform that can be used by our students to learn, to check, and to drive. And we will provide, I don't know how you would write down this notes. So that's why I have to talk about how we work. You can shorten my minds.
Okay, could we say that the value you create is a software for people to get or renew their driver's licenses?
Yeah.
Without coming to the course and with any car in the country that they want. Could we say this?
Yeah, okay, that's something.
Okay, not like I don't know your idea in any way that you do. So if I'm wrong, or if there's something that needs to be added, please say it so that I
That's
can
okay.
add it.
I'm good. That's okay. That's okay.
Okay. Another thing we can say is that is this a cheaper way, for example?
Yeah, this is real. Our prices are significantly cheaper than ordinary courses. We can economize expenses on tuition fee, on the gas fee, on the salary of our teachers.
Okay, cheaper solution.
Yeah.
We can just sum it up that way. It's cheaper. Is it faster?
This is convenient to use. This is really convenient. Faster. Yeah, this is faster and convenient.
I'm sorry, what?
Convenient. It's easy
convenient.
to use. Yeah.
Okay, it's easier, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
What else could you say? Like, just think of this part as like, what's your main difference?
Okay. So the best way, the main thing that I should point out, this is the what kind of problem we solve. We would check your attendance automatically. So in Uzbekistan, apart from how to say, the education system differs from Turkish style, because in Uzbekistan we have lots of corruption in this system, because most of people don't attend to the classes, and after all they are getting this license. So after that we have lots of crashes, lots of problems on the roads. So we would really 100% can guarantee that we will check your attendance.
Okay, checking attendance of participation.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, Mr., we have the same problem in Turkey as well. So it's not. I know it's a big issue.
So yeah, and I faced it.
Is there any other thing we forgot to write down, or does it look good about the value?
Yes, so I think that's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you reach the customers? We decided on your customers. We decided on what you provide them with. How do you reach them?
Okay. We will we will use cross-marketing skills. So as I mentioned, cross-marketing, as I mentioned, we would work with our partners who have already had their courses. So but with the help of us, they can attract more people to their courses remotely. If they can organize just 4 or 5 classes in the day with the help of us, with the help of the platform, they can attract more people in their regions, and this would be really cheaper. So cross marketing is the best way to us. And
Okay,
after
so
that,
there will be distributors, right?
Yeah, distributors.
Partners in different places.
Yeah.
Okay, like for example, will you work with the current driver's license courses?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. What about, like, for example, do you have a, I don't know, website where people can enter and participate?
Yes. The what digital ways, digital channels we would have on social media platforms like Instagram, like Facebook, Twitter, and something else that we Telegram is social messenger is most active usable. And in our website, yeah, definitely website. So the main attention we would pay to social media development.
Okay, sounds.
taxi parks, that in some regions we would partner up with taxi parks because, for instance, it's the place and on the suburbs of the cities and towns, they apparently would not have education courses, but we need more cars to conduct our practical lessons, practical courses. So taxi parks can be useful for us in that case, and their drivers can conduct and show how to drive.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so taxi parks, right? I can't remember the English word for that. Taxi. Did I write it correctly? Was it taxi parks?
Yeah. We name it taxi parks. I don't know how to.
Okay, no problem. I couldn't remember the English word for it, so no problem if everybody understands.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so these 6 are how you are going to reach the customers, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. What about customer relationships? Like who?
Sure.
Like what are the types of relationships your company establishes with the customers? Like, is it going to be, I don't know, automated services, like for example, or is it going to be self-service? Is it going to be personal assistance? Like, will there be, I don't know, like help center for people to reach
Okay.
you?
I got you. Sure. As we launched an app for communication, app.
I'm going to need you to spell it. I couldn't understand.
App, yes. App, I mean. Sure. You can download our app on Google Play or iTunes and App Store. And so our app works for communication, for checking your attendance.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. There are multifunctional app special for being touched with our company. We would have more than 50 people on our company just to have better communication, bilateral communication between customers and us. So 24/7, you would be online with us, and you can raise some questions. We will be answer on them. So, but everything would be remotely, online.
Okay, that's great. But Mr. From what I understand here, we should add the mobile application to the channels part, because that's the main way you reach the customers.
Okay. Mobile application.
Yes, I have written that down. And what about the revenue streams? Like how do you receive the money from the users? Like, do you take usage fee? Do you take subscription? Do you take like online credit card payment? Like, what's the revenue stream that you use?
Yeah, okay. Now we have 3 kinds of payments, 3 kinds of revenue.
Okay.
The first and foremost, this is a one-time payment by our students to get courses. So, just to make an instance, just to make an example, if the one course will be cost $100, 50% of them will be spared to conduct practical lessons, $15 maybe, and another $15 would be spared to attract teachers to conduct theoretical part of lessons. So we would conduct only theoretical part of lesson by ourselves. On our own, we will do only this part of. And another case, all the expenses we will do through our distributors. It means our distributor will earn in partnership with us.
Okay, so another revenue stream for your business is for your license you receive from your distributors, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, and I believe you said there was one more.
And one-time payment and others. This is our advertisement system, our rating system, and our platform. We now want to pay more attention on media part of our company. So it means when you are searching out the web on your Yandex or Google or some search engines, we would propose you media files. It can be videos, it can be some courses, extra courses, or something else. So it means that off the web would be for 15 pesos this media platform. In that case, we can advertise your company. So with the help of this advertisement, we can charge more money for you, and we will launch rating system.
Rating system.
Yeah, rating system.
Could we say ranking system usage fees? Like people will pay you money to.
For getting ranked. Their rank.
Okay, that's great. Is there any other than these four revenue streams?
Okay, let's finish it. We have one more. This is super fantastic way.
Should we continue? I couldn't hear you.
I said we have one more fantastic way. I don't know.
There's a problem with your microphone, sir. Can you repeat, please? You said there's one more, but
yeah, we had one more. But I guess this is more imaginary. This is fantastic. So I can't think that it could be useful. So we can miss that out.
Okay, if you want, we can write it down as a goal that you would like to do, but in the current phase, you're not
that's
doing
all.
what's
That's
possible.
all. Yeah, that's okay. Let's finish it.
Okay, let's continue then. What are your key resources? Like, what do you need to make this business work? I'm understanding you need software engineers.
Yeah, I need software engineers, and we need cheaper human resources.
Human resources, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I told cheaper human resources, cheaper human capital. Yeah, people who would work on the call operating system.
Oh, okay. Call center services. What else?
And
financially, what do you need, for example?
We don't need financial resources. So we can how to say raise maybe just 50,000.
You do not have to write down prices, or you do not need to talk about the money part. Like, is there, I don't know, how can I say this? Just never mind. These are really good examples for key resources. No problem. Is there any other thing that you need for this business to continue working? Like, what do you have software engineers, you have call center services.
If we would talk about this, we have a lot of things in detail if we would consider it. So I think that's 3 of them is enough just to get example.
Okay. What about the key activities? Like, what are the most important things your company must do to basically like make it work? Like like, for example, you need to create this software and keep it working, right? So that people can use it.
Support. So we have to support up to them. Create a software and we have to do activities in order to attract drivers and taxi parks or the people who own drivers to join us. How to say it? Plug in or something else?
Okay, this is actually clear. Like you need to continue getting attention from drivers to join you and taxi park and other
Yeah,
things.
I mean, in order to conduct practical car courses, riding cars, we have hired drivers. But just but stop it. I want to talk it. Hiring drivers will be more expensive for us. I mean, hiring drivers separately and to find another cost separately and combine them, it will be really expensive for us. And now, so that's why we are attracting people who have already owned their car.
Okay,
and who are really experienced in this thing.
Bring people with cars and drivers with experience together. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Yes, great. Anything else like key activity that you must have? Or are these enough for you right now?
Maybe that's enough.
Okay. What about the key partners?
Key partners, as I already mentioned, our key partners are cursors in regions. So key partners would be some distributors.
I understand, right? You need different distributors.
Yeah. So
okay,
that's
great.
all. That's all. We have no more partners in that way.
Okay. What about the cost structure, like the costs that are needed to continue the business, like working? Like, for example, you need, I don't know, like you need to pay salaries for engineers, or you need to spend money for advertisements.
Yeah, so we name it like a date point. Date point not should be less than 26,000 K per month.
Okay, so you need to pay salaries.
Yeah, I need to pay salaries.
Okay.
I need to support our web servers, our web services, maybe like.
Okay.
And gas expenses. I mean, expenses for gas, or say for gas, for
did
oil.
you say gas?
Transportation costs. In Uzbekistan, we use gas in often. Transportation costs. Yeah.
What else?
What else?
Like, is there certain equipment
expenses
you need
on
to
our advertisement?
I'm sorry.
For advertisement costs.
Okay.
Where else? I don't know. Especially we would have lots of kind of costs, a lot of expenses. So I mean, just for giving example, that's enough.
Okay, like for now, this is enough, but Mr. When you're doing this for yourself, for your business, it would be much better for you to write down like in much more detail so that you know every part of every topic.
Yeah, you're right.
But for here, it's very much enough. Thank you so much for participating. If you could like share your email address through the chat, I could just send this to you if you want. After
okay, I'll write it down.
We finish. Okay. Is there anybody else who wants to participate once more? Like, let's just do one more of this for everybody to clearly understand what we are doing here. Anybody? Isn't there anybody? We need somebody to participate. We just need to make practice to get this better. Yes. Where have you entered? I couldn't understand. I'm guessing Mr. Zainuddin. To the session. Oh, okay. Welcome. If you want, we can just like go through the whole training once again in a more quick way for those who have entered new, and it could just be a general recap of the whole training. Is it okay for everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Is the presentation, could you see the presentation on the screen right now? Is it clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay. So I'm just going to pass this part quickly. Okay. First of all, we talked about what is the difference between a business model and a business strategy. A business model determines how you want to differentiate and position yourself within your industry. And a business strategy is the system that provides all the requirements and how to do the job to realize your strategy. Like, this is something you need to clear in the very beginning. And then before starting a business model canvas, I recommend you do a SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis is a basic analysis of yourself, your business, or your idea or your product that you should do before to see beforehand, before you start going into the canvas. Like, what are your strengths? Like, what do you do well? What unique resources can you draw on? What do others see as your strengths? Like, what are your basically strong parts that put you in front of anybody else regarding your company or your product? Then you should write down your weaknesses. Like, what are the things that you could improve? Could you improve them, or will they be your weakness no matter what? Where do you have fewer resources than others? Like, what are others likely to see as weaknesses in your company or your product? This part usually, while writing the weaknesses part down, most people have a hard time because their idea seems pretty perfect to them. Like, they say, okay, this idea is great, I can do this, I can do that, then I will be successful. So while writing the weaknesses part, you should spend some extra time on it to decide on your weak parts from the beginning and give a long thought on it. The opportunities are, what opportunities are open to you? Like, what could you do? What trends that are currently popular in the world or in your country or in your city that you could take advantage of? And how can you turn your strong points into possible opportunities that will put you in forward of others? Like, what is your advantage that could be used in a business kind of way? And the threats, like, what are some things that could harm you or your business? What is the competition doing? Like, who are you facing with in the market? What is your current situation? What threats do your weaknesses expose you to? Like, for example, you might not have the highest security in any kind of place. This might be a weakness, but it could also be a threat, because having not good enough security could like make you get your information stolen or any other kind of things. Like, weaknesses and threats are more closer to each other, just as strengths and opportunities are close to each other as well. So a business model canvas is basically a visual representation of your business. You just sit down, there are several topics given to you, and you try to, as we have done with Mr. Previously, just write down everything you know about your business to see if your business is basically could be validable. While doing a canvas, you can see your relationships. Yes. Okay, I'm continuing. You could see your relationships among your customers, your values, and your channels and your partners. Like you could see your current state more clearly in several different topics. You can identify your assumptions and your possible risks, which I suggest really well that you do a risk analysis in several parts of your journey, whether it's a project, it's an idea, or it's a company. You should constantly keep doing risk analysis, and then you could plan your validation testing. Like you could see the markets, the channels, the pricing. This is basically, as I said previously, to see if your idea or if your product or business is feasible to do business, to continue doing business, or to start doing business. And by doing a canvas, you could find ways to add value or to reduce your current costs or the current solutions in the market. And you could brainstorm market disruption strategies, because while doing a canvas, you write about your thing in your hand, your company, your idea. But while writing those down, you could also have the chance to see what the current state in the market is apart from you. Like you could say that I'm planning on doing this, but the current phase, like the current market, is in this shape. So this is a major problem, and if I develop a new strategy to this, I can disrupt the market and be I can be an up-and-coming business. So business model canvas basically helps you see all of these things and many more things in a written piece of paper for you to be able to look back into and see the projection of your business or your product or your company. There are 3 types of canvases. You could use all 3 of them. There are, like, when you write down business model canvas to the internet, you will see like many things. The first one is the only one of the 3 main models that contain a part about your team, your culture, and your values. And this basically has, like, it's more easier for a person that is doing the business model canvas for the first time, because it brings up several questions for you to write down the details that a canvas requires. The second model of canvas is the Osterwalder and Pigner canvas. This was first appeared in a book called Business Model Innovation. This has fewer elements than the previous one, and this doesn't really put forward questions. The one we did with Mr. previously on the Excel sheet was this, because he knew more things about his current state, so he was able to fill this up. But if you're really new and this is just an idea for you, I recommend you do the first one, so that it will be more clear. You could fill the canvas up by answering the questions one by one. And this is the most new canvas model. It's Ash Maria's lean canvas. This is more easier, more clear, but it doesn't really put forward that many questions as well. The most important, like the most different thing this canvas puts forward is the unfair advantage part. It's different from the value proposition. Like, the unfair advantage is, as it's called, like, what is your main significant difference from basically any of your opponents or anybody else in the market that you are aiming towards? Like what puts you in the front? Like, do you have the best technology? Do you have the best network? Do you have the best, I don't know, financial status? Like, what is your number one advantage? Like the unfair advantage part requires that, and the rest of it is pretty much the same with the other ones. Your canvas should be smart, as we have said, like the things you write down in your canvas should be specific. They shouldn't just be just general statements. They should be specific. They should be measurable. They should be achievable. Like you shouldn't just write down, I want to sell this thing to every single person in the world. Like we know that that is not achievable. And the more realistic and the more achievable things you write down on your canvas, the more realistic it would be. And the more relevant it will be. So your canvas should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be achievable, it should be relevant, and it should be time-bound, because you should be able to refresh your canvas as you start the journey and you keep continuing. The main canvas consists of 9 main topics. They are customer segments, value proposition, channels, customer relationships, revenue streams, key resources, key activities, key partners, and cost structure. We will dive into them one by one after this part. The first part I recommend you start writing by is the customer segments. Customer segments is basically who you are creating the value to. Like, who are your customers? You're creating something and you want to sell something to someone, and as long as there is a you need a customer to be able to sell something. So the first answer you should be able to give is, who are your customers? The second part is the value proposition part. It's after we decide the customers, what are we going to try to sell to the customers? Like, what is your thing, basically? Like, you can ask yourself these questions to decide on what your specific value proposition is. Like, what do you deliver to the customer? What problems of the customers do you help to solve with the solution you're offering? What products and services are you offering to each customer group? And which customer needs are you satisfying? Like, these are the 4 main questions that you should ask yourself while deciding on your value proposition in the canvas. Next part is channels. Channels is something you should do after you have decided on your customer and the solution you're offering. The channels block asks you to write down how you will take the solution in your hand to the customers. Like how you will communicate, how will you reach the customers is where you should clearly state in the channels block. The customer relationships part is basically where you should write down the types of relationships your company creates with the customers. Like, will you assist them personally, or will your customer relationship part be self-service, or will it be automated services? You should write down like, how will you keep the customers who have came already, and like you should write down how you will maintain the customers that you have already reached down to through your channels. The customer relationships part is this. Next part, revenue streams, is how does your company generate cash? Like, okay, you found the customer, you have the solution, you know how to reach the customers, and you know how to maintain the customers. So what are your customers going to pay for? Like, are you going to sell them a subscription, or are you going to sell them usage fee, or will it be like licensing? Like, what will it be? Will they just come up to your store and pay you in cash? Like, how will you generate revenue is the thing that you must write down in revenue streams. The next part, the key resources part, is the most important things required to make your business continue working. It can be like physical things that you need, like for example, in a software company, you need computers for engineers to work on. Like for example, for a software company, computers is a key resource. Software engineer is a key resource. You need to be able to pay the engineers, the rent, the like the electricity and stuff. These are the key resources that you need to continue to make sure the business keeps on working. The key activities part, the most important things your company must do to make its business continue working. Like, do you provide a physical product? Do you provide a service? Do you provide a platform? Do you provide an application? Do you provide problem solving on a current problem? Like, you need to do what's the main title of the thing you do. Like, how do you do it? Like, what does your value, like what does your solution require to continue, basically? The key partners part of the business model canvas is basically the partners or like the suppliers that your business needs to do its business. Like, who do you have by your side? Do you have, I don't know, like family? Do you have investors? Do you have distributors? Do you have manufacturers that you receive goods from? All of those partnerships, key partnerships, should be written down in detail here. The next part is the cost structure. The cost structure is the part where it's usually the longest in the business model canvas. Sorry, because you need to write down all the costs required to operate your business, as we have written down with Mr. Like, it could be salaries, it could be advertisement, finances, it could be like anything that that requires you to spend money to continue the business. And you could just write down like, these are our most expensive resources, and like basically a financial summary of all your costs. We did an example together with everybody. Like, for example, if you were to open a lemonade selling business, who would be your customers? What would be the thing you're serving? How will you be serving, for example? Like in lemonade example, your main customers are like visitors, like people who want to drink cold drink. The value that you serve to them is a cold and tasty lemonade on the go. Like, people just can come and buy lemonade as you go. How will you reach the people who want to buy a lemonade? You can open up a booth for people to buy lemonade from you as they walk by. You can go to doors to offer people lemonade, or you can, I don't know, like create lemonade.com and receive online orders from people who want to buy lemonade through an online platform. Your customer relationships could be your friends, your family, or the schools nearby, where you can just like try to gather up the students that are coming out of school to make sure like they come and they basically buy lemonade from you in a constant base. The main revenue streams of a possible lemonade selling business could be the lemonade sales you make and the tips you receive. These are the revenue streams. And by the way, all of these could be written in more detail, and I recommend you do your business model canvas in a more detailed way. I just did this to explain more clearly. The key resources of a lemonade business is you need lemon, you need water, you need sugar to basically make the lemonade, and you need cups and possibly a booth to serve the lemonade to the visitors. The key activities you're doing is the things that form the business actually are to make lemonade and to sell lemonade. Like, these are your basic key activities that you are doing in a lemonade selling business. The key partners could be like, you could have friends to sell. Like, this isn't a really correct idea, because friends to sell, you should be inside the customer segments part, but friends who come to work with you or who help you make lemonade or help you buy the ingredients for lemonade could be set as key partners. And the cost structure of lemonade selling business could be the salaries if you're making people work for you, or you could create and spend money for flyers for advertisement reasons, or you could buy equipment to make the lemonade or keep the ice. Like, for example, any of those costs that will be needed for the business to continue working could be in the cost structure part. And we have one more Skype example here, but the lemonade example was actually way more clear. So that's pretty much the summary of the whole training once again. Is there anybody else who wants to volunteer to create a canvas model together? Or does anybody have any questions? It would be much better if we can do, like, if somebody can participate and we can do more examples. How can we get this PPT file? If everybody can write down their email addresses through the chat, I will send the PowerPoint after we finish up.
So Cihangir, you can send me the PPT and I will share that.
Oh, okay, that would be much better. And I will be writing down my email address through the chat. So if you have any additional questions regarding this or basically any other thing, I will do my best to answer and to help with my full knowledge. If there is not any questions or anybody who wants to volunteer, we could end the training here because this is basically what the Canvas business model is. Is there any questions or any volunteers?
Everything is clear now, and thank you for your presentation. And if we have a question in future, we will surely get back to you via email. Thank you for your time.
Thank you as well. Thank you for those who have participated, and thank you all of you who have listened to me. Rica ederim. I have shared my email address. As I said, I will share the presentation to Mr. Abdulaziz. He will send it to you. And for any other questions, you can always send me an email. It was a pleasure to be here today. I once again thank you all for listening to me. I wish you all a very good day.
Thank you. Have a good day too.
Thank you, Mr. Cihangir, for your efforts. It was very fruitful presentation.
Thank you to Mr. Abdulaziz. Hope to see you in the next trainings as well.
See you too. See you. Hurmatli ishtirokchilar, har biringizni emailingizga jo'natilgan o'sha dasturlar, mana shu dasturlar bo'yicha treningimiz davom etadi. Iltimos, o'z vaqtida kirib faolroq bo'lishga harakat qilsangiz, mavzular juda ham toza. Har bir startapchi uchun juda ham zarur. Rahmat e'tiboringiz uchun.
Prezentatsiyasini tashlab bera olasizmi?
Tashlaganda men emaildan jo'nataman.
Sizga yubordimmi axir? Sizlarga ham tashlab olsangiz zo'r bo'ladi. Rahmat.